but I don't often. But when I do, I don't always do 2 fishing chats in one day, but when I do, I'm gonna give you a good one. Welcome to RV Fishing Chat. I did a fishing chat earlier because, as you know, I had to go into work because my laptop died, and I'm messing my a little better. Still some. I don't like it. It's crooked. Oh well. So thought I'd do a little fishing chat since I had an idea. Thought I'd go a different way home too. How about that? Woohoo! Just good old boys. Woo! Anyway, yeah, I know. Anyway, so fishing chat. What are we talking about today? I'm on a fishing kick, so I'm gonna go fishing tomorrow, right? And one of the things that comes up, I mean, from time to time, I get a little self-conscious about, because I'm kind of weird in a particular area that I don't know if it cost me fish or not. I haven't been able to prove it, mainly because I catch fish. I catch fish when other people don't. I don't always catch a lot of fish, but I catch fish when other people don't. Some of that might be because I'm a little unconventional. I do some spin fishing that other people don't do, like buzzbait. I'm a buzzbait fisherman, and some people think the buzzbaits are a waste of time, and I'm happy for them, because that means the fish are not used to seeing them, because other people don't use them, and I catch more fish on them. So thank you. Please do not use buzzbaits, especially Pond Magic buzzbaits by Booyah. Don't use them. Please don't, because I catch more fish because you don't. Because the fish haven't got it memorized. So thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, I'm in rare form today, folks. So, but what I do is when I put my lures on, I don't tie a conventional knot. I use braid. I don't use a leader. That's crazy, right? Well, I do a lot of topwater fishing, but I do a lot of spinnerbait fishing and other kinds of baits. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to wave. You know, Texas wave. I do a lot of other kinds of baits. In the water baits, I do crankbaits. Sort of the, I guess they're called swim baits, those kind of things. I do a variety of in the water fish imitation kind of baits that would normally require a leader because the fish would see them. I even use bayou bug jigs, and which are generally, you need a leader with those to make sure the fish actually see or don't see the line. That's what I've been told. But I've caught fish on them, so I have no problem breaking the mold if I can prove it. But for the past 4 or 5 years now, I have been using I don't know what to call it. Basically, I tie a loop in the end of my line, and I double knot on the loop and then cut the end of the tag off. So I have this big loop with 2 knots, and then my line continues on. Wow, this road's bumpy. And anyway, so I tie this loop, and then I take that loop and I put it through the eye of the hook, and then I take the loop that goes through the eye of the hook and I wrap it around the lure back up to meet the other line, and then I hold on to the eyelet and I pull on my main line, and that tightens everything up, and takes the slack out of it, tightens it up, and it's just basically a loop knot on the eye of the hook. And the cool part about it is, especially on bigger lines, maybe not so much on the smaller ones. The smaller ones I have a harder time with. But the bigger lines, like 20 pounds, 15 pounds and up on Power Pro braid, I can take the knot out. I don't have to retie the knot. I can pick it out with my fingers and put another lure on. I don't have to retie a knot. I mean, there's been times when I've gone fishing three times, and this is like 4 hour plus days. Multiple fish caught, all kinds of stuff, and not have to retie a knot. I retie the knot when it looks a little funky. Now on the lighter lines, I've been switching to lighter braid, and I've been having a little harder time getting that knot apart, so I've had to just cut it and redo it. But still, even cutting it and redoing it's easier than some of these other fancy schmancy loop special knots that, you know, I've done in the past, and you do kind of crazy kind of things to keep it from slipping, and braid is weird. And that was actually what happened, is I started using braid and I lost a couple lures because braid does not knot very well. Yeah, that one. Braid, the knots don't hold very well with braid. They slip out, so you really gotta have a special kind of a knot that doesn't move. Well, this is what I came up with, and it doesn't move. I've never had one slip. As long as you double knot, just a standard double knot, you know, you take your loop, you tie a knot in it, pull it tight, tie a knot in it again, and try to make the knot land right next to the other one, pull it tight, clip the tag, and you got a loop. And that's what I use. So, am I an idiot? I don't know, you tell me. I've been catching fish. In fact, I've been in situations where I've caught fish left and right. I've had some of I've used this knot practically ever since I restarted fishing again, 5-6 years ago. I started using braid, and I went, wow, this stuff's awesome. Used it on the coast, snagged my line on piers and stuff, and had it fray and do crazy things and never break. Braid just is solid stuff, and I highly recommend it. And it casts so much better than monofilament. After using braid, I hate monofilament. I absolutely detest it. It just does not work right, and I can't get it to cast on my reels. Braid is just like 10 times smoother. No, I'm never going back to mono. I've tried it. I went to fluorocarbon, tried to do full fluorocarbon. Crap stuff. Just absolutely crap. And I bought some of the better stuff out there. I paid good money for that, and I just could not get it to perform like my braid does. So I'm sold on braid, and that's why I don't even want to have a leader on. I don't have to mess with it. I got a good system, and it works. Now, turkeys. Sweet! Am I losing fish? Am I missing fish because they're seeing my line? Maybe. There is one thing that I do on occasion, and I keep forgetting to put my pen back in my vest, but I carry a permanent marker in my vest, and I'll put dashes basically on my line to variegate it, and I'll do that within the first 2 or 3 feet maybe 2 feet of the lure. And the reason for that is it adds these dashes on the line, and you know how fish can sense a line, right? They can sense a long thing that kind of matches with their horizontal line within their body. I don't even know what it's called, but they can sense a line. So I'm assuming that if the line is obvious enough, the fishing line is obvious enough, they can sense it with their body and know that something's wrong. So if that's the case, then hello, let's break that up. And so you put dashes on that, and I've actually seen commercial line that every 6 inches the color changes, braided line. And actually, it's actually already got the black on it. It just goes one color to black, one color to, you know, same color, just variegates back and forth to black. Stops the. That's where I got the idea. Read up on it and found out that's how it's supposed to work. So it interferes with the fish's internal sensors for sensing a line. So yeah, I do that. That may actually be the thing that stops it. And if that's the case, then, you know, hey, I'm going to keep doing it. But, oh man, the rivers are starting to look like they got some water in them again. Can't wait to go fishing. But tomorrow we're probably going to go to a warm water lake because it's still supposed to be fairly cold. 60s or below, so. But I can't complain. It ain't frozen. So, anyway. Yeah, so that's my little thing. That's my little thing. That's my deal. I do this weird, funky thing with my line and for tying knots, and I'm telling you, it hasn't really seemed to affect my fishing. Now, I'm not a real great underwater fisherman, although I'm good with spinner baits, and I've caught some monster fish on rooster tails with 20-pound braided line. I mean, I used to fish 20-pound braided line. And I caught a huge fish on the San Saba. For the San Saba, it was a monster fish. It was almost a 20-inch fish, and I had braided line. I had 20-pound on then, and I've since switched to 10, and I'm actually going to be trying 8-pound here pretty quick. Got some new fishing reels coming in. Hope to do a review on. But yeah. If 8-pound works even better, I mean, I got an ultralight. I'm not putting 8 pounds of pressure on that ultralight. That's what I fish with for most of my lures, except for the Bayou bug jigs. I'll be doing probably 15 pounds with that. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. If anybody else does anything like this or whatever, let me know, because I feel like an idiot when I'm talking to other people because they look at me like, oh, you're stupid. But I've read some stuff. I read something Bassmaster recently where they said most people don't know that they can up the size of their line. It doesn't affect their fishing much, if at all. They can't even, they're not even sure that it does at all. If the fish are biting, the fish are biting. And that's kind of been my assessment. So, yeah. Tell me if I'm an idiot. Tell me if you've ever tried it. Because if nobody's tried it, if you haven't tried it, don't come telling me that I'm an idiot if you haven't tried it, right? Go try it and see if it affects your fishing. Please do this. I would love to know. You guys out there who are using leaders and all that, switch over to this idea. And if you don't understand it, ask me questions. I'll be happy to do another video. I've got a video somewhere on it, probably on my Van Vortex channel, VANV0RTEX, Van Vortex. I'll try to link it in the description. But yeah, go watch this other video and it'll show you exactly what I do. But seriously, I want to know, am I an idiot? Am I losing fish? Because I've been using this for so long, I've caught so many fish, but I'll admit I don't catch a whole lot on jigs. I don't catch, there's some things I don't catch many fish on. Finesse presentations maybe, like worms and Texas rig and that kind of stuff. I've never had a whole lot of success. So maybe that's my problem. Maybe it's they're seeing the line and that's why they're not taking it. So that would make sense to me, but I'd really like to know if someone else tried this who's really good at Texas rig, and tell me if it affects your fishing. Because a lot of times you can't tell if something affects your fishing if you're if it's just a bad day. I mean, I've caught fish on a Texas rig and then caught other fish on on other stuff, and I just switched over to something else because it was doing better on top water. But does that mean that Texas rig is bad? Or does that mean that Texas rig is bad, which was stupid, because Texas rig is good? Or does that mean my line presentation was bad? Or does this mean it was a bad day for worms in the water? I'm not going to know because I don't fish Texas rig enough. and I don't fish the other method with leader and all that. So someone else try it and tell me what you got, because if you get weird results and you say, hey man, I can't catch anything on this with this method, and you were catching 20 fish a day before or whatever, let me know. I'd really like to know. Anyway, this video's gone long enough, so, and I'm almost to my house, and you can't see that. All right, bon voyage. Safe travels and tight lines, folks. Oops, look out. Speaking of safe travels, no distracted driving.